Hi, what's your name and your school?
My name's Daniela Pressner, and I'm the principal at Akiva School in Nashville.
When was a moment from your childhood or your past that you first experienced either love of Judaism or love of education?
I think just from the very start. I was born in Israel, and so from a very early age, my parents spoke to me in Hebrew. My mom was from Iran, and my dad was from Chicago, and so their common language was actually Hebrew, and they were both learning it. So from there, at 3, I moved to America and visited Jewish preschool and then Jewish day schools all through 12th grade. And so I think from a really early time, our parents really instilled this value of, we don't just want you to know about Judaism or live it, we really want you to know what you're living. And that's really where Jewish day school education comes from.
Great. And when your life progressed, how did you make the decision to start a career in Jewish day schools?
So I really didn't ever have a plan to engage in Jewish day school education. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I went to college and I majored in religion and dance, and I really wanted to pursue a PhD in the comparative kind of the development of law through time in both Judaism and Islam. And I ended up getting married and moving to Nashville, and kind of right before that I was spending some time dancing. I knew I didn't want to do it professionally, but I knew I did want to pursue it for some time. And I was in an accident, and I think I realized then that I needed to make a deeper impact on the world, and not just kind of, something that would please me only, but really something that could help the whole world. And I felt like I didn't know what that was yet, but I knew that I needed some space before pursuing a PhD. And so when we moved to Nashville, I pursued a master's in Jewish studies, and then the head of the day school kept saying, please come try teaching in our day school, you may end up loving it. And I was really resistant at first, but I felt like I was still in recovery after having that accident, and I felt like I needed to do something to try to share a bit of myself with the world, and so I did, and I never looked back.
Great. Do you have any pivotal moments in your development as a leader, or how you decided to take on leadership responsibilities in your school?
Yeah, I think from the very start, the head of school really put a lot of trust in me and had a lot of faith in my ability to lead, and really said, go out there, put yourself out there, fail, I'm going to support you, and do whatever you think you need to be able to help move our school forward. And I feel like that approach, just being that supportive leader and being someone who could just reach out and say, I'm going to help you, I'll have your back no matter what, helped me really blossom and grow as a leader, and really be willing to take risks and to then encourage others to take risks as well, which has really, I think, helped me build a much deeper understanding of what collaborative leadership looks like and how we help implement that in our schools.
Great. Just because we're telling stories, do you have a story from this past year at your school that you think is particularly touching or moving about your kids or your teaching? Any favorite stories from your teaching moments?
That's a really good question. Do you have a specific lens in which you'd like to see, serving students with special needs or serving student enrichment?
Sure, anything about.
So we had a student in our school who is incredibly bright, and we had his capacity in life is endless. He perseveres, he's thoughtful, he's friendly, really bright, and we noticed that he had begun falling apart in certain math enrichment opportunities that we were giving him. And one of the values that we really have in our school is that if we see the child is engaging with whatever it is, texts or mathematical computations in a meaningful way, and they're ready for that next challenge, we want to make sure to give them that enrichment. But every time we gave him this enrichment, he really fell apart. Why do I need to do this? This is something extra. I can't do this. And we couldn't figure out what was happening for him and why his sense of self was being, on some level, depleted by this extra enrichment that we were providing him, and really that it wasn't extra, that it was a part and parcel of his academic journey. And so this kind of kept coming up, not just in math, but in other classes. And finally, we, in partnership with parents, decided to get him a full psychoeducational evaluation to really understand like where are his strengths and weaknesses as a learner. And what came out was that in almost 90% of the skills they were testing, the ideas they were testing, he was at a 90% level and above. And there were a few, specifically in the area of visual spatial reasoning, that he was actually in the 80s. And so, though that isn't a huge variation in terms of like, he's still performing at a really high level, what it was doing to his own self-esteem was profound. And his ability to then be enriched in the areas in which he felt weakest basically just fell apart in those moments. And so I think really just the beauty of the partnership between the parents and the teachers and the faculty overall and this child to help identify like what was it that he felt was wrong and what helped move him from a place of like not feeling confident and not having a sense of who he was to really this back to being this engaged, loving, excited, curious learner that we want to have at Kiva.
Great, that's amazing. Thank you.